WARNER has decided to boycott TV6, possibly igniting a freedom of the press firestorm. The minister made it clear today that he has nothing to say to the news station with the widest viewership of all media as we attempt to clear the air on widespread reports involving his sons in the United States. Media Association President Susan Shepard told us this evening that the minister's stance flies in the face of his government's stated position on press freedom, as TV6 has the right to investigate and to seek information involving any public official. She said that there's a clear press freedom violation that must not be allowed. Mr. Warner's boycott comes on the heels of a TV6 investigation by journalist Mark Basant of reports of a government minister under investigation in the United States by the FBI and the IRS.
Yes, as we reported yesterday, Samantha, Mr. Warner challenged the media to pose their questions to his sons. So we took up the challenge and we went to Miami and doorstepped his son, Darren Warner. The younger Warner went on record, but he may have revealed more about his status by choosing not to answer certain key questions. Darren Warner was adamant that he was in no way restricted from moving around the US. There was no ankle bracelet, but he still was shying away from some burning questions everyone wanted answered. Is he allowed to leave the US? And is he the subject of an investigation by US authorities? Warner refused to address any such questions. His silence spoke volumes. Warner was content to prove that he was certainly not limited to the confines of the Skyline condo. And so he left in his BMW coupe, agreeing to rendezvous at P.F. Chang's, an upscale coffee shop 10 minutes away. On arrival, Darren instead opted to visit the neighboring bar. He calmly sauntered in and ordered a beer. During an off-camera moment, but on the record, he remarked to me, if people were so interested in tracking his movements, they could have checked his credit card activity. There's been an air of secrecy regarding what transpired, if anything at all, in Trinidad or the US last year. For months, TV6 News has been trying to collate solid information with supporting documents, but hard, cold, documented facts are a rarity. The reports that have floated to the top emanate from high-ranking intelligence sources here in Trinidad and the United States, but the media, so far, have nothing concrete. Talk about financial transactions and other questionable dealings were not up for discussion with Darren Warner. But he did touch on some kind of financial activity, saying he felt the spotlight was being unfairly targeted at him because of his father, Jack Warner.
I know we open option trader account in US. You have to go to compliance. So family members of politicians. What is the deal? You get rejected 90% of the time. If a father wants to sue the country and move people to Canada, they do. What do I have to do? Why am I not doing anything?
When we contacted Minister of National Security Jack Warner to get a response, he simply said he was not speaking to me or anyone else from TV6 News. Darren Warner said all these allegations were adversely affecting some of his family members because of his father's job.
You went from apparently a week and a half ago. You're doing your job, I'm happy for you. But we should, my ex-wife or the kid, you're not Nigeria, you could have not rather been a politician.
Local media reports have speculated about a sealed indictment in the US. So we journeyed to the federal court in downtown Miami to seek some clarification on this issue. What is a sealed indictment? Sealed indictments are issued by judges presiding over felony cases. A judge can order an indictment to be sealed and demand that it be kept secret until a specified time. Only those responsible for issuing a warrant against a suspect are made aware of an indictment while it is sealed. We spoke with an official inside the Records Department of the U.S. Federal Court in the Southern District of Florida, but were not allowed inside with any electronic or recording devices. We asked him why a judge will seal an indictment. He said this is sometimes done to avoid tipping off the defendant or if the defendant has a case pending for trial. Another case scenario the official told us that can occur is if the defendant cooperates with the government's prosecution of others who may be defendants in the same case or defendants in cases with other case numbers, then the case may remain sealed because of cooperation. The potential for sealed indictments is a looming presence in one of the broadest criminal initiatives the U.S. government has undertaken recently: U.S. taxpayers' use of offshore financial accounts to hide taxable income. Mark Berman, a federal defense lawyer who spoke to TV6 News from New York, also indicated that there is also the likelihood that the individual's name will appear in court records, but the information on the docket was not forthcoming.
You know, if a defendant is arrested, they get brought in front of a judge, they get to see the indictment, but the indictment stays sealed on the docket, so it's not publicly available. And there'll be an indication on the docket, you know, indictment sealed, and then eventually the government typically makes a motion to unseal the indictment.
A trip to the Consulate Republic of Trinidad and Tobago in Miami to find out if they had any information about any Trinidadian nationals having their passports seized or being detained for any reason by U.S. authorities within the last 3 months bore little fruit. A senior official who later spoke to us said there was protocol in place under the Vienna Convention for U.S. authorities to notify the consulate when national to discuss such matters with the media or public. That's the key to Prime Minister Prasad Bisesa getting full knowledge of the real story here, says PNM leader Dr. Keith Rowley, through government-to-government relationships. At a public meeting last evening, Dr. Rowley accused of dereliction of her duty in not going after the information.
Where there are allegations floating all around the world about criminal conduct, mainly money laundering, it is irresponsible for the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago to turn a blind eye and pretend she doesn't know what is going on.
Darren Warner's refusal to answer the key questions directly may well be saying more than he ever intended. Mark Prasad.